various locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Well, we might be in the great off-season. However, there's things happening right now. This is our 6th annual PJ at the Snowball program, which we're going to talk to PJ in just a couple of minutes. However, we will begin today's program with our friend and new sports director at CBS 58 in Milwaukee, Lance Allen, who, by the way, can also be heard right here on 97.3 The Game and the Badgers Radio Network and iHeart and Learfield, and that makes you one of our radio teammates, Lance. Welcome.
I need you as my hype man, Todd. That was like one of the best intros and best promotional hits I think I've ever had. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I left a part out. And two-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. It's, first of all, for the racing community, we are all extremely relieved that you did not find some job out of our market and take all your racing with you. We still are going to have a voice on Milwaukee television, and it's a great relief to all of us.
I appreciate that. You know, it's a passion of mine with my dad racing and kind of being in the culture for years. Brian, you've seen me at events. I've been at events with you, obviously, and things like that. So, no, and you guys, and I can throw the bouquet back at you. Now, this is unusual, Brian, as you well know, because usually Todd's like ripping me and I'm ripping him. So I'm afraid I'm getting set up here for something. I don't know, but no, you're only as good as the relationships you build. You're only as good as like your friends, and you know, and you have to listen to people. And my philosophy, as you guys well know, gentlemen, is even if you don't know a lot about a certain sport, whether it's racing or soccer or whatever it may be, you would be a fool not to do the good stories that are. And I'll just say this, and here's my one promotional moment: is at CBS 58, the branding and the marketing is, and the philosophy, and you know, it's in my fiber, is your hometown station and hometown sports. Well, what does hometown sports mean? It means if there's something going on at the Milwaukee Mile, if there's something going on at Road America, if there's something going on at Slinger, Brian, you and I know we've been at Plymouth and we've been at certain short tracks around the area. Like, you can't always be all things to all people, but you definitely need to tell the stories, whoever it may be, of great stories that we've told over the years, and that will continue. And that's what warms my heart as well. Now,
without getting into a whole lot of specifics, I know that you were told at your previous employer that they really thought you did a little too much racing, and you were actually told to cut back on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are places that obviously they have certain things, certain wants, needs, desires, things like that, and you have to abide by that. But you know, as you guys know, I'm passionate about local things. I think things change, and Brian, you've been really good about keeping me in the loop on, hey, just watch out for this. There's a story here, things like that. To me, like now, and it's been this way for years, is SportsCenter, or ESPN or national brands, they'll show this, that, and the other thing, but they, what can you do to differentiate yourself better than anybody else? And it's to tell local stories. That includes, whether it's Packers, Badgers, Brewers, Bucks, Marquette, but it also includes racing, and it includes high school sports, and it includes local colleges. And, when people say, hey, we don't really watch you a lot because we watch all these national brands, and I go, that's great. It's like flavors of ice cream. Everybody likes what they like, but what are those national brands doing that's, in your backyard, or doing a story on your neighbor or your family member or your friend or somebody that needs some spotlight? And that's what we need to do.
I watched your previous employer because you were on there, and it's going to be real easy to make the switch over to CBS 58. The hometown thing is not just a motto they go by. They really believe it over there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. No, and people have been genuinely kind, Todd, to say we're making the switch, and that's the goal. That's the thing is we're on the upswing. I'm proud to be on the CBS 58 team. And I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday that people, being here 28 years and being on air for 32 and then living in the state my entire life, people have been more than generous about literally inviting you into their homes, and you become family. You become part of the fabric of Wisconsin or part of their lives. And there are some things that sometimes you got to recheck yourself and say, okay, I took that for granted. That is one thing I never took for granted, because people more than ever have more choices than ever. Like, look at just the radio landscape, streaming, podcasts, television, just all the different options you have. For example, you could be listening to Sirius XM instead of this program right now. I wouldn't advocate it, but you could. So
don't give them any ideas.
There's two, but you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I just never took that for granted, that you literally become part of people's families and you become part of their group if you earn over their trust and you build a relationship. And sometimes that includes tough conversations. You guys know, like, there were times where people would come up to me and be like, you need to do more racing. And I'm like, I honestly feel the same way. And I have an ear for, if somebody comes up to me and has an unpleasant conversation, let's have an honest conversation, because sometimes we can be better. We're only as good as our listeners and our viewers. So I'm here to listen.
For all the things that you have done in all sorts of sports, being in the position you've been over the years, I have a favorite moment that I can tell you right now, and it's probably your favorite moment of your career.
A huge blooper or something like that, Todd?
When Brett Favre walked back onto the field and you walked with him to that packed house and there was no football game. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And just the fact that you walked out there with him and were able to interview him on that field was something I'll never forget. So
it's one of those moments that, you have dreams, goals, aspirations. Like, you guys know, I've been to the Indy 500. The first time I went there was incredible. Super Bowls, Rose Bowls, Final Fours. And then there's stuff that you never even, it's not a goal. It's not a dream. You never even think about it. And I'm telling you, Todd, I still get almost like goosebumps to this day. 66,000 in the stadium, pretty much a packed house. It's not an exaggeration. It was on Packers.com. It was on NFL Network. Literally, and my relatives in England were watching it. Literally millions around the world, or at least around part of the world, were watching. And in those moments, I'll just say, Todd, in those moments, you don't want to hit the turn 4 wall as you're coming in for the checkered flag. Let's just say I made sure I didn't screw things up, and because it's a moment that will live on, and you still pinch yourself and go, how was I even in that moment? And it's two people that everybody's listening to for 20 minutes, literally do like a live interview, and it's one of my career highlights. Incredible.
Yeah, I believe it. And it's such a relief to the racing community for all you have done for it. I mean, here's a guy who went from that spot in the universe, and it will be found in the stands at Slinger Speedway on a Sunday night to watch the racing.
And the announcer and the PA announcer will literally spot him in the crowd and give him a shout out. I can't even believe that. Oh, but he also kind of hazes him and teases him a little too, which I probably deserve, but it's a good thing.
The crowd loves you, man, and you know it, and you deserve it, and we're very relieved you're back. Hey, thanks for, staying out of church on a Sunday morning just to talk to us.
Well, I was in service, and I ducked out for a little bit, so I guess I'll have to repent of that. But keep feeding me those racing stories, and you guys know you'll see me at a track, and you'll see me around and see me locally at some place, so come up and say hi.
There you go, Lance Allen, a part of the fabric of the community of racing and the Milwaukee area. We're going to see him for a long time. Great stuff to have you on, Lance. We're going to sneak away for our first break, and then we're going to come back with PJ at the Snowball right after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
Score! Going off the rails on a crazy train!
The Milwaukee Admirals wrap up a back-to-back weekend in Iowa as they take on the Wild Sunday at 3 o'clock. Turn it over. Here's Hinestro's on the slot. All alone, he scored! Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
All right, I didn't get a chance to do this in the first segment. Our 3 co-hosts all chomping at the bit here, starting with Brian Schmidt in Oostburg, Wisconsin. Morning, Brian.
Morning. Ready for the Snowball Derby and the outstanding coverage that Flow Sports has done with this. Can't wait to watch it this afternoon.
I would agree with that. Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin.
Yeah, good morning. It's snowball time. It means one thing. We got our live correspondent, PJ Donner, and I can't wait to hear what she's got set for us.
And PJ Noodleman of Trempealeau, Wisconsin, although right now she's in Pensacola, Florida. Welcome, PJ.
Thank you. I couldn't help but notice that Lance Allen is now at CBS 58, and this is the 58th running of the Snowball Derby. How about that?
I love it.
Numbers. So, yeah, Ty just got through pre-race tech, and he's doing a few photos here. I'm just going to grab a quick word with him. Ty, you have had an incredible past week, really, with the Bigley win, and then now you are on the pole for the Snowball Derby. Talk a little bit about the advantages of being starting up front and kind of what that might mean for your strategy in the race.
Well, the people that qualify up front will say track position is important. The guys that are in the back will be like, it's a long race. Doesn't matter. So I think track position today, might mean a little bit more than years past just because of this tire. Didn't see a lot of fall off last night. And I think Nasty's fastest lap was like on lap 64, 65, and it's kind of unheard of here at Pensacola. So, yeah, it'll kind of remains to be seen on exactly what will happen today, what will transpire as far as wear and fall off. But regardless, it's going to take a good balanced race car to win, and things are going to have to go your way. So hopefully how the cautions fall kind of suit our race car and its strengths, and hopefully plays our way today.
You got Mike Herman Jr. once again in your ear as a spotter. What does that mean for your game when you have him there?
Well, he's just so experienced, not only with this race, but just, he's got a really high racing IQ. So it's good to have a guy in the spotter stand that has that kind of knowledge and that can help us throughout different situations and different scenarios throughout the race and help us make the right decision. So, good to have him. He's a great spotter, but like I said, his wealth of knowledge is probably an even bigger asset.
Knowing that anything can happen, but also knowing that you've got a good piece here. What do you think your odds are of getting that third Snowball win?
Well, it's hard to win these, let alone, 2 in a row and win 3 of them. It's not easy. So I like our chances today. I really do. I think this is probably the best long-run car that we've had here. Maybe lacks a little bit of speed in the short run. So, like I said, the race has to go your way. You can't ever be fast enough to win this race. So, like I said, if our car is good on the long run, hopefully we end with a long run. And if not, the gloves will have to come off at the end like it did last year. So you just never know what can happen. You just got to be in position. And, you're in position. You never know what can happen.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Ty Majeski, he's rolling off P1 today after setting fast time in that qualifying effort. It's going to be kind of touch and go here to grab people for an interview simply because they are going through pre-race tech right now.
That's fine. I did want to ask you a question. There's been lots and lots written about this week about just the cost of running this race. It's a $50,000 to win race. And by the way, that number was doubled from 25 by the folks at Flow Racing, who are the ones that are televising today. So that's amazing right there. It's $2,500 to start and $50,000 to win. I don't know if there's any other incentives, but it's not like it's a cheap ride to get there, is it, PJ?
Oh my gosh, no. And just because I have obviously personal knowledge, being that I'm married to the crew chief there, tire bill for them, and they were being conservative with what they did with tires. They ended up spending about $9,000 on tires. But there are teams here who have spent $16,000 or more on tires alone. There's a lot of guys that were putting on fresh tires just to try to lay down a fast lap. And I mean, I know enough about my husband that he's not Toby's not about wasting a lot of money, because he knows that they do race on a budget. And he's one that, even since his days with Steve Holzhausen, he would try to get that car dialed in race trim, because you got to know how it's going to last in the long run, right? And that's what he spends a lot doing.
And still a $9,000 for those who are, being conservative with tires. You got to be ready to spend $9,000. Casey Johnson told me it was going to be $6,000. I don't think they bought any spare tires.
They might not have. Well, if the race is a 16 tire race, because you start with 4 in the car and you got 3 lane. Is that correct, Tobe?
3 sets, 12 tires lane.
Wow.
So I just want to ask Tobe, since I've got him here, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So you guys do kind of do this on a budget, despite people talking about it being big money.
Yeah, we try to. I mean, it's a hard deal. You fight between the tire fall off is so fast. To make sure you got it right qualifying, you gotta, we probably went through 5 or 6 sets just to qualify.
Who do you think is going to be your biggest competition here today for Ty?
Probably the Donnie Wilson cars. Maybe Bubba if he hits it. Stephen Nasty will be good. Butcher, Wilson cars, Butcher and Chandler Smith. I think they'll be pretty good.
PJ, real quickly, while you have Toby there, any concern about the track today? I mean, we saw you guys had an issue with the car during practice, and then last night they had to stop because of potholes. I mean, it looked like a street in our community here. The pothole crew out, they got fixed up.
Yeah, the deal that you guys had with the track coming up and punching a hole in the nose, and now a track came up again last night. Are you guys concerned about that?
Well, we built it a lot stiffer this time, so hopefully not.
Heard it here. Toby Noodleman, stiffer than ever.
God, it's really good when we're talking about suspension. That's a real issue. PJ took some pictures of the track and the patch job they did on it last night. And I think Dan is posting them on our Facebook page right now. It's obviously a pretty major issue, and they keep saying, "Oh, it's so great that they haven't repaved this track because it's got all this character and it makes you, work around your tires and all that." Yeah, but if the track is coming apart, it might be time to actually repave that place. Can you imagine if that place?
And I don't know if you could repave the entire thing, because it would probably be so quick that the cars might rocket right out of the place. I've heard that before from other people, but it's probably time to cut. You can do cut and patches on some of those spots, so that the area that's coming apart, you could put a square patch there, so that, if you do an entire groove, that's where everybody's going to sit. But you've seen a lot of these tracks where they do smaller patches and you're still able to keep the character of it. And I'm guessing that's probably what they're going to have to do in the future.
All right. So let's take this opportunity to sneak away. PJ is at the Snowball. She's going to go talk to a few other drivers here during this program. We're glad you're tuned in. Here on the Big 920, we return right after these.
The checkered flag is waved over the racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Congratulations to the champions, Brad Miller, Will Source, Travis Schmidt, and Ben Schmidt. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing thanks all the drivers and pit crews for their ongoing dedication. The loyal, dedicated track workers are the best at what they do every week. A big thank you also to the many businesses for their sponsorships, and of course the fans who make it all possible. The green flag will wave for another season next spring. We'll see you there.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The new episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available for you right now. Wayne and Matt talk with former Packers fullback John Kuhn about his playing days, the Packers, and the tight NFC North. Catch this in every episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast, available anytime on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Presented by UW Credit Union, here for every you.
And PJ has tracked down a former track champion at the Madison International Speedway.
Well, I had Travis Quapple. He's pushing the car forward. But right now I have his son, Caden Quapple. Had to run that last chance last night. But, boy, you made it look good.
Yeah, we were okay. I wish we could have qualified in. I feel like I just didn't really drive it all the way how it needed to be. And in the LCQ, we kind of struggled with the handling. I feel like the track changed a lot that we weren't expecting. But we were able to get them at the end, so it's really cool to be able to get in the show for the second year in a row, me and Carson both. So I'm looking forward to it, long race, so we'll see.
So how is that for you when you know that you got to get in there and you kind of had to sort of give a little love tap to get around that guy? How did that feel?
Yeah, I knew there was only a couple to go, and I felt like I was definitely faster, and I just kept messing up when I get to him. So I knew I had to get to him and try to get away once I got by him, and that's kind of a chance that I had right there, and I knew I had to take it and try to get away real quick. So once we got by him, I feel like we had clean air, and we were pretty fast. We were like same speed as everyone else. So I feel like I was just kind of holding myself back being behind him. And once I got clear, I felt like we were really good.
You spent a lot of time trying different ways around the track to try to figure out what's working best for your car?
Yeah, we did a little bit in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is pretty, you just got to stay on the line the whole time. So that's kind of straightforward. But 3 and 4, we were just a little snug. So trying to move around a little bit, try getting on the line to get it to turn, try making a big arc. So we just had to work a little bit around the car, how it was handling. And once we were able to get clean track, I felt like we were pretty good.
What are your plans for the 2025 season?
Run a little bit of everything. We have a pro car that will probably run a little bit. We have the 32 Super that will run some more. He has a late model stock as well. Archie does. So we'll probably end up running a little bit of everything. It'll be fun though. We'll have a lot of races and a lot of work to do, I feel like.
Good luck to you today. Got your dad here, Travis. It's kind of exciting for you to have both your boys getting into the Snowball Derby. So many things probably are so different from back when you were behind the wheel, right?
Yeah, like touch on what you said first there. This is really a proud dad moment for sure to have both my sons in the Derby. We don't get down to 5 flags much to race, and you come and you compete against the best of the best. You don't have much of a notebook. The boys don't have much laps here, so it was a big challenge for us. But I'm proud of them, proud of the effort of both teams, and just excited. You know, I don't think we have winning cars. I think Carson's got a pretty solid car. I think he can be a contender in the top 10, and you never know where it goes from there with good adjustments. Haven't seemed to really just hit it with Caden yet, but we're close. And same thing there. We hit the right adjustments, and maybe things will go our way.
Well, at the end of the day, you just got to be in position, right?
For sure. Caden did a good job last night executing. Mission 1 was get it in the race. Thought we had a pretty solid car there. Tires were a bit of a question mark this week. We would gain stagger, we'd lose stagger, and last night, stagger really closed up on us in the feature there, or the last chance. So it's kind of a gamble going into today, and you take your best guess. But really proud of everybody's effort. It's great to be down here. It's great to be in the 70-degree sun, and looking forward to today's race.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And hi, everybody back in Wisconsin, back home.
I should note you're wearing your Weir's Machine sweatshirt.
Chad has been such a supporter of myself back when I raced, and now my boys. He said we got a lifetime contract, so I hope I'm doing him proud.
I think you are. Good luck. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are actually supporting that Weir's Machine. I know that Ty does as well, too. Pretty much anybody from Wisconsin or anybody who's worth their salt has got some Weir's Machine gear on their car.
Travis, one of the genuinely good guys in this sport. He's just, and a hell of a driver, too. And that number 35 car at Madison, he was 19 when he won his championship back at Madison. Imagine that.
Young boy grown into a man. That's got to be so cool, though, to have your kids, both of them running basically the Super Bowl, if you will, of short track racing.
And Travis, moving up in the world, too. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that it's hard enough to get one car in, let alone two, and they're not really running both of them out of the same garage. So you got a whole lot of moving parts for both of them here today.
No kidding. Now, if it sounds as though PJ is running right now, she actually is running up and down pit road, and she had talked to a couple of drivers before the program and making sure they would be available to talk. So, in between, while she's running, you might hear a little huffing and puffing going on there, but she's the hardest working woman on pit road right now, I'm going to guess. So there you have that.
And it is a big deal down there. I mean, to make that race is hard. I mean, the qualifying is intense. Did you see the Dartfish program that it had from first, Ty Majeski first, to Noah Gregson in 30th, and how close that was just to get in? I mean, it's tough to get in that race and have both Quapple kids get in. That's pretty cool. And if anybody knows how tough it is, it's PJ, because she gets to see it firsthand, right?
Yeah, no kidding. She sounds to me like she's in the middle of something right there. So
I was just trying to grab David Gilliland, but he's not by his car yet. So instead, I'll go back and grab Mr. Derek Thorne. I'm sure he'll be willing.
Yes, Derek is. I
think he's in the Schaefer car, right?
He is. Paulie's car and a veteran of Slinger Nationals in that car. Too.
Actually, he's going to do something with the Snowball Derby people first.
Of course. That's how that
They've
works.
got all these snowball heads, and they're going to do a picture of. They're all putting on these snowman heads. For crying out loud! No, I've never seen this before either. But yeah, there's a group of people that are all putting on snowman heads and doing a picture with Derek Thorne.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, Freddie Query is the tech inspector down there, right?
He thought is.
Didn't is that a changing of the guard?
No, he's been a big part of it. Ricky Brooks has not been a part of this for several years now.
No.
Ricky did the race down at the Freedom Factory. That was a UARA race. That's his. So, yeah, there was a bit of a falling out between Tim Bryant and Ricky Brooks for whatever reason. I don't know. Politics always seems to get into it. So, no, Ricky's not affiliated here anymore. Freddie Query has been the tech guy here now for quite a while. Probably the last 2-3 years anyway. Yeah.
If I ever went to the damn race, I'd know these things, That's how.
Dude, this is really, really weird with these snowman heads. It's like those furries, those fetish people that wear the furry animal suits. It's kind of like that, but I don't know.
Comes to fetish.
God bless.
I'll defer to you, I guess.
But I will say that most of them have a beer in their hands, so they're obviously fun-loving people. That's for sure.
Kind of early for that, isn't it?
Not down here, no.
That's what we want here. All right.
We got to go to break. We'll come
We're
back.
going to
with
break.
Derek Thorne.
PJ will be back with whoever she can grab the next time you hear her. We'll be right back.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The Milwaukee Admirals wrap up a back-to-back weekend in Iowa as they take on the Wild Sunday at 3 o'clock. Turn it over. Here's Hinestro's on the slot. All alone, he scored! Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. It's our, I think, 6th annual PJ at the Snowball program. She goes down there and talks to several drivers. And I didn't find out if she... Oh, yes, she does have Derek Thorne there.
I do have Derek Thorne. He's signing some autographs. He's a fan favorite for sure, not just for commiserating with, but to probably win today as well, too. Derek Thorne, what would it mean to you to get number 2 under your belt here?
Sure would be nice, but we got 300 laps standing between us and that. So we'll just try to take it one lap at a time and try to execute the best we can. It's been a long week, but the car's been solid the whole weekend to have Schaefer Motorsports and Paul and Paulie Schaefer and Chris Purdy and the guys on this crew that have busted their butts all week. So for them, we want to stay in one piece, but at the same time, we obviously want to compete for a win, but there's a long ways to go to get there.
How do you feel about the tires? Are you feeling like they're reliable? They're wearing well enough? Are you having any concern at all about those?
Yeah, I think there is. I know they weren't made too long ago, so there's going to be some variables there. But the strength of the tire, I don't question that. So I don't think we'll have the same blistering issues we saw here in September. But the tire itself's had great speed. The fall off to it's a little unique. The way it falls off is unique to what we've had in the past. So at the end of the day, we're all kind of in the same boat. So you're just going to have to adjust accordingly. And hopefully your cars, there's going to be cars coming and cars rising and falling on the leaderboard. But at the end of the day, we all have plenty of laps to adjust. We got 3 sets of tires in the pits to put on, so there'll be plenty of variables just in that alone. So we'll just have to make the most of each opportunity we get for tires and then try to adjust for it.
They say luck is a big part of winning this race as well, too.
Oh, yeah.
And are you concerned at all about the track? I mean, that's two days in a row now that they've had some issues with it coming up.
Just trying to, I guess it's easy. I almost have to compartmentalize, right? There's only so many things that you can control, so we try to worry about things we can control. The luck part of it is obviously a huge factor that you can't control, and this racing takes a lot of it to be successful. So we'll just have to kind of go with the flow and hopefully that the stars line up for us more so than the rest. But at the same time, certain things we'll just kind of have to wait and see how it plays out.
You are a very even-keeled guy. I don't hardly ever see you getting like overly emotional and just really angry. Has that always been part of your makeup, or has that just come over the years?
No, you strap the helmet on. It does cut oxygen off to the brain at times, right? So behind the wheel, things change. But I've learned in racing, I've never been a big planner, both in life and or behind the wheel, because I feel like there's so many different things that change that you just kind of got to wing it more or less at times and go with the flow and adjust in the moment, and in those moments are when you have to make quick decisions, and hopefully it's the right one. But at the same time, you plan too much, it's obviously things change pretty quickly. So to have a general plan is one thing, but at the same time, you got to be able to think quick on your feet and go with the flow.
Be flexible. So I don't want to put you on the spot now. You just talked about not planning, but what are your plans for 2025?
This season was great. Had so many good teams we worked with, but still working on some details for some things with some teams, but have yet to really get to sign on the dotted line yet as far as what the for sure plan is. But I think there'll be some racing still in the future, I hope. Got some great customers this year I hope to work with next year as well. and we'll just kind of have to wait and see how the turn of the year get through Christmas and how the schedules line up, and just go from there.
You talk a little bit about what you do for your business and kind of how that factors into how your program works?
Yeah, a lot of drivers, drive and obviously have race teams, but I make my living working on them, right, repairing them, and then the bonus is getting to drive. But back home, I have DTR, which is Derek Thorne Racing, and I'd say from A to Z, you name it, I try to be able to do it, from shock servicing to chassis setup to repairs to bodies to clips to rear end work, front end work, geometry work. I don't do engines, but I try to do everything else on the race car. And Mike Keene, who was my old crew chief from the Campbell Motorsports days, he and I work together with customers out west as well to do the development stuff, setup work, consulting. But just try to do whatever we can. If they call, I try to. If I can't do it, I try to send them in the direction of somebody that can. But racing's a tough business. It's hard to make money consistently because a lot of things are always moving and changing. But it's just one of those businesses where the door, it's always a swinging door, right? There's a revolving door of drivers and people, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with that. But just very, very lucky to have been blessed with a great group of people around me, both, with Schaefer's and back home with Mike and the old Campbell days and stuff like that. So to have good people around you is the strength of it. To have good customers is the next part. But just obviously it's a performance-based industry, so you got to be fast to get the customers.
Well, good luck to you today. You definitely do have a good piece, and a lot of fans are rooting for you.
I appreciate everybody out there watching.
All right, good luck. Derek Thorne, he is definitely going to be a force to contend with here today
They
as well.
sure have had a good run with that Paulie Schaefer car, haven't they?
For sure, yeah. And then there was a Paulie spotting over at the Floribama earlier this week where he was letting his locks flow, and he was quite popular.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what Derek did for a living, this Derek Thorne Racing outfit that, California does actually race out there. It's not like we only hear about the eastern half of the country mostly.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly. I hate to interrupt, but I have David Gilliland with me right now. David, this is like a home-built car, right?
Yeah, it is. It's something we're pretty proud of. We've been working on it a long time, and we wanted to race it before we came here to the Snowball Derby, biggest race of the year, but kind of ran out of time. One of those things that always happens in racing, it seems like. But, I've had a great group of people that have helped me build this. Steve Levitt, just a ton of really, really good, talented people. And we used to race super late models, and we've had a lot of ideas for a long time with stuff we've learned over the years. So kind of wanted to put it all into one piece and come out here and see what it'll do. But been happy with it so far.
Well, you obviously have a very varied career, done a lot of different types of racing, and then, of course, your son racing as well, too, getting into the whole NASCAR scene. Tricon Garage, big piece of that as well. What's that like for you to balance working that business, but then also getting back behind the wheel?
Yeah, it's a tricky balance. We have 5 truck teams that race full time every week, and Toyota has been an incredible partner and helps us each and every week to accomplish those goals. But then you go to the racetrack, and my son races. On the Cup side, we're racing trucks, and then to come out here and try and do this too. So it's a lot, but racing's all we've ever done, and I miss driving, so that's kind of why I built this. I'd like to go maybe run a handful of races a year, just kind of pick some big ones and go and have fun. So I've had a lot of fun this weekend for sure. Definitely don't have time to do it full time with everything else we're doing. Obviously the truck deal is our priority, and we've been close to the championship 2 years in a row now, and we've come up a little bit short. So that's where my focus is trying to get that championship. But after that, if we have any off weekends, I might try and go out, sneak out and play a little bit.
Would love to see you up at Slinger for the Slinger Nationals. Is that something that might be on your radar a little?
Yeah, that's a race I've always wanted to go to. And, I've been to a lot of racetracks in my life, probably more than most. Obviously, there's people that have been to more, but that's one of them that I haven't been to. And so it's on my list. I'd love to go there and drive one day, but if not, I'll for sure go to watch at least. But no, it's definitely a race that's circled on our list. Just got to see kind of how all the schedules line up.
Well, good luck to you. You definitely got a fast machine here, and it's obviously pretty proud for you to know that it's your stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of neat for us. We build all our own truck chassis at Tricon Garage, do all our own bodies. I've just kind of always prided myself on kind of doing our own thing and not really just kind of following what everybody else does. So hopefully that pays off today. I'm very happy with it so far. Definitely know we can be better coming back, but I feel like we have a shot today, as good a shot as anybody. That's a good feeling going into the Snowball Derby.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That's David Gilliland, guys. He is ready to roll. He's got a fast piece as well.
second generation of 3 generations of racing Gilliland. His dad was Butch, his son is Todd, and they're all in that business. We're going to sneak away for a break while PJ is running. I'll be back right after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
The new episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available for you right now. Wayne and Matt talk with former Packers fullback John Kuhn about his playing days, the Packers, and the tight NFC North. Catch this in every episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast, available anytime on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Presented by UW Credit Union, here for every you.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Yes, there was one big dirt event this weekend going head-to-head with the Snowball Derby. It was in St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome at America Centers, the 8th annual
Also
Gateway
on
Dirt.
Flow.
Yeah, that was on Flow too. Flow had the corner on the market this weekend, I would say. Thursday night, they started off night number 1, $5,000 win for the super late models. They divided the, I believe it was 160-car field into 2, and Mike Spatola picked up the win on the opening night. They also had the modifieds there as the undercard. Ricky Thornton Jr. won the $3,000 to win preliminary feature Thursday night. They did it again Friday night with the other half of the field, $5,000 to win. Ricky Thornton Jr. hopped into his late model and won that part. And in the modifieds, it was Trevor Neville. One other race this weekend in Brunswick, Georgia at Golden Isle Speedway. The Showdown on the Coast, $20,000 to win for the 604 crate late models. That was last night, and Mark Whitener won that. That brings us to the big grand finale last night in the Dome. They had over 30,000 tickets sold for that race last night. I think that Dome holds 70,000. You might not get that many because they have to take out a lot of the bottom of the seats to put the track in. But they think next year they're going to even top that. They could top 40,000 next year for that event. It's just amazing what this event has become. The big event, $30,000 to win for the super late models, and Brandon Shepard held off Bobby Pierce. Great battle at the end. On that little track, it was actually very racy. I was surprised to see the action as good as it was. Bobby Pierce finished second. He actually broke. I think he was going to maybe throw a slider on him coming out of 4, but he broke the drive shaft coming out of there, coasted across for second. Ricky Thornton Jr. finished third. Modifieds, same thing, $10,000 to win. Another great race there, and Trevor Neville picked up the win there. The big news out of that race, next year, that race will pay $50,000 to win for the super late models. They have not announced what the modified purse is going to be yet next year, but that is going to increase as well. Minimum, he's increasing the purse across the board by over $120,000. So that's become quite an event. Something when they first did it 8 years ago, I thought wasn't going to work because Dan and I went to their first prototype race in Indianapolis, and that didn't work so good. But this one is pretty spectacular. That is everything I have this week.
Kenny Wallace posted on his website that a friend of his won the 50-50 raffle at $90,000 in St. Louis. Yeah, not bad.
I mean, it's quick. Like, as soon as that race was over, they were doing victory lane interviews. The backhoe and the loaders were out there, and they got to get that thing out of there. I think they work through the night. That whole track comes out of there, and probably by this afternoon, they're mopping the floor. So it's incredible how quickly that thing goes.
Absolutely amazing. Thanks to our friend Paul Reichert for sending us results. Last week, right down here in Arizona, we had the turkey shoot at Tucson Speedway. Kyle Reed was your winner down there. Weston Malthaler, who is actually from Minnesota but drives for Kelly Byers, finished 6th in that one. The rest is all snowball derby stuff starting Friday in qualifying. For the super late models, Ty Majeski, as you might have heard, was fast qualifier. He turned a 16.175 for fast time. Willie Sawilli was 3rd, Sammy Smith 6th, Derek Thorne 7th, Bubba Pollard 8th. Let's see, Luke Fenhouse is down there. He was 11th, and yet he was fastest in last practice yesterday. And then you heard a couple of the other guys, Michael Hind, 24th. And Noah Gregson is down there, too, by the way, was 28th.
I've got him right here with me.
You do? Well, isn't that perfect? Why don't you talk to him right now, speaking of which?
I will. Noah, I know that it's been kind of an up and down weekend for you so far, but how are you feeling about your shot today to become a 2-time Snowball Derby winner?
Yeah, I'm grateful to be in the race. It's always fun coming down to the Snowball Derby, and it's a long week down here with testing. We tested last Sunday, so been out here over a week, and we don't have the car exactly where we want it, but we're locked in the race, just kind of struggling through 3 and 4 with grip and being tight and kind of lacking drive, but overall, super excited for today. We're going to keep working on it. I know we're not going to quit, so I'm not too sure how it's going to go. Last year, we had a really good car, started 3rd, and ran in the top 4 for most of the day. So with that being said, I don't feel as confident as I did last year, but hey, we're in it. We got a chance.
What is that like for you? I mean, you're obviously running Cup full time to be able to get a super late model car dialed in and ready to go. I mean, it's kind of a lot of dividing and conquering.
Yeah, it's the first couple laps. It's always tough to shake it out again and knock the rust off. But I've been here, I feel like, enough, and have a pretty good plan on how I try to attack the racetrack and where I want to position the car and place the car. So with that being said, it's not too bad to, get in between the Cup car and this after running the Cup car all year. But this is my only super race all year. So
is it hard to pull it together, though, for one race? All the people, all the moving parts?
No, not really. It's pretty calm. I mean, it's drug out, but it's also a lot of fun down here. So I enjoy it.
You're one of the most colorful characters in racing, obviously. And I have to tell you, pretty much everybody had a good laugh over the word Dip Dot when he referred to William Swalich. Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. It just seemed fitting, I guess.
Dip Dot. You actually, you've been a really great social media guy for that. I think you really sprung onto the scene with social media when you did the wasabi thing. That do you eat wasabi yet or no?
No, I don't like horseradish and I don't like wasabi. So I like spicy foods, but just that type of spice. I don't know if it's what it is. Horseradish and wasabi, is it like a root or something? So I don't like whatever that taste is. Not good to me.
Definitely not before you strap into a race car.
No, definitely not.
Good luck to you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Noah Gregson, he's been buzzing around the pits here on a little Honda motorcycle. It's kind of funny, actually, because as he was cutting across the pit road here, Bubba Pollard was also cutting back across to his pit. And
see if you can catch him. I'll tell you about the Snowflake yesterday. That's the late model version. 100 lapper. It was last night. Dylan Capello was on the pole for that one. But in the race itself, it was Stephen Nasse winning it. Jeremy Miller was down there. Casey Johnson, the aforementioned Casey Johnson, was down helping Jeremy Miller, but they did not have a good time in that Snowflake race, finishing 25th. So that's pretty much where that. Derek Kraus did make the trip down there, but just has had nothing but bad luck and didn't make the show. That's their own family car, and I get a feeling that if they're going to win some races with that in that program, they're going to need a new chassis. Maybe they should go out and get themselves a new Toby car. I don't know.
Maybe. This is Bubba Pollard here with me. I had to laugh, Bubba. I saw you and Noah Gregson cutting across the pits, both of you on your little motorcycles, and Noah revved it up, and you just looked over, and you're like, whatever, man.
I ain't got nothing for him. I just got to save all mine for the racetrack, hopefully. But, yeah, they got some souped-up little pit bikes there, so I'm going to have to try to get me one. I'm like an elephant riding a tricycle, but, yeah, it's fun hanging out with those guys.
How are you feeling about today? I know everybody always wants to put the pressure on you, but are you doing a good job just kind of pushing it off and doing your own thing?
I don't know. You know how it is. It's we still got to outrun the same guys like Ty and them guys will be tough all weekend today, and you just got to go out there and execute. I mean, I feel like we just get to this race and we don't make the right decisions sometimes, and that's what it's all about, is being in the right place at the right time. And we were there last year. And it didn't work out. So we just go out today and do the best we can. And if it happens, it happens. If it don't, we'll just we'll keep trying. So I feel like we got a pretty good, decent race car that hopefully we can make some adjustments on throughout the day and get it a little better and be there at the end.
Are you feeling pretty good about the tires? I've kind of heard mixed reviews on the tires from guys.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they're fine. It's just different. It's these guys. I don't care what tire we're on as long as it doesn't blister or come apart. And it's our job as race car drivers to push it to the limit and get our cars the best we can on those tires to have a good race car, right? So, I mean, I like it. It's fine. I like it for the simple fact of it's gonna bring it back into a setup thing and back into the driver's hands. These tires that we've been on all year has kind of been too good. So now we're slipping and sliding like we used to back in the day. So I'm anxious to see how the race is going to play out today and see if there's some come and goers. But it's just been too equal in the past. But I think this is going to cream our ass to the top, as Ty was said the other night. So hopefully we're just part of that.
I noticed on social media there was some hullabaloo or talk about the rear window braces on your car. What's the deal with that?
Just nothing. Just like to get people talking, give them something to think about. But, they're nothing. It's just they had us to add some bracing and take some bracing away in other places through tech on Wednesday, and it created that problem on Thursday. So we just fixed it, give some people something to talk about. We just wanted to get the internet going, I guess.
You do a good job of that. There's nothing wrong with playing in the gray area anyway. That's part of racing too, right?
That's it, yeah. I mean, that's our jobs, right? We got to get advantage. These cars are so equal. As you saw it in qualifying, they're so close, and it's our job to push those limits and know what we can do and what we can't do. So I see those guys on Sunday pushing the limit every day. So we just got to go out and be within those limitations today, and have a fast race car.
What are your plans for 2025? Are you going to be getting up to the Midwest at all, you think, or not so much?
I don't know. I mean, I'm to be honest with you, I'm getting older. I've been traveling for a long time, and I'm not saying I'm not going to race and keep traveling, but I'm going to kind of pick and choose the races I want to go to. And I always like it up there. Got a lot of respect for those guys, but it's tough now with the family coming up, and we just got a lot going on. So I may slow down a little bit and not race as much and kind of just race closer to home and do some different things. But yeah, it's tough just traveling up down the road, and all these guys that help me out really do it, take time off of work, and they don't really get paid much. So yeah, it's just a lot of different things, but hopefully we can and once or twice a year and see what we got.
I know I might have told you this already. I know you got all girls, but it was actually documented that men who have more G-forces subjected to their body, they have more girls. So any of them going to race, you think?
I don't think so. They into softball and cheerleading, and they're young, but hopefully they don't want to race. Hopefully they enjoy something else and work on tires or something like that, but not even driving. But if they want to, we'll let them. But hopefully we can stay. When we're done racing, I hope. So we'll see.
Good luck to you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Bubba Pollard, hoping to get this snowball victory out of the way.
We'll be back. Hang in there with us.
The checkered flag is waved over the racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Congratulations to the champions, Brad Miller, Will Source, Travis Schmidt, and Ben Schmidt. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing thanks all the drivers and pit crews for their ongoing dedication. The loyal, dedicated track workers are the best at what they do every week. A big thank you also to the many businesses for their sponsorships, and of course the fans who make it all possible. The green flag will wave for another season next spring. We'll see you there.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
Scores going off the rails on a crazy train.
The Milwaukee Admirals wrap up a back-to-back weekend in Iowa as they take on the Wild Sunday at 3 o'clock. Turn it over. Here's Hinestroza on the slot. Oh, he scored! Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Listen. PJ is back in the pits and got a familiar driver with her.
You bet. Luke Fenhouse qualified 11th for the Snowball Derby. That's your best effort yet.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. We struggled really Monday, Thursday. We struggled, and then we found something. Switching to a different package in the front end, and I like it. I think it's kind of going to be a little bit different day today with the warmer weather and sun out. So I think we made a good adjustment for it, and we should prepare for it, and hopefully that leads us into the right direction. We can just have a good race. It's a long race, so many sets of tires, and if we can maintain top 15 and then control the race by then and work our way to the front later on, that's kind of the main goal, and try to end up with a good finish later on.
Got your local team here with you as well too. Anybody else that you brought into the fold for this big one?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, it's just it's been the same guys always from Wisconsin, same supporters. ICS is a new one on the race car, but has always been with me. He spots for me in Wisconsin, and just all my guys clicking together. Done Right Exteriors, he owns both my race cars and does so much for us. And Crystal Finishing, Wagner Motors to get us down here, and just ICS for all their hard work and making it possible. It's been a fun week, but it's been a long week. But we're looking forward to finishing off with a good finish tonight.
What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge of the day?
I think just searching for grip for most part of the race. I don't know if it takes a while for this race to get over with. Past years it's been dark out when we finish. So I think just preparing and adjusting to the racetrack, preparing for the grip, losing the grip. Maybe we go a long stretch and we lose a lot of grip. Maybe we don't. So I think playing out those cautions, being ready for a short run. My stuff seems to fire off a little tight on short runs, but I think we're in a good position. We'll try to ride and be there at the end and just see what we can do.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Luke Fenhouse, ready to roll and do Wisconsin proud today.
Outstanding. Thanks, PJ. You did a great job today running around. You got to just relax a little bit and enjoy the race tonight, this afternoon. What do you think? You can watch it on Flow Racing if you've been kind of putting it off and thought, man, whether I should get that app or not. Yes, it's streaming on Flow Racing, FLO. Put it on.
And the coverage starts right at the top of the hour here.
So, yeah, get ready. Thanks so much to our buddy Lance Allen and Ty Majeski, Toby Noodleman, Travis and Caden Quapple, Derek Thorne, David Gilliland, Noah Gregson, Bubba Pollard, and Luke Fenhouse for doing this. And thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in. Gosh, we appreciate you. You just can't imagine. We will do this program one more time before the Christmas break. Be sure to tune in next week. For all of us, we want you to remember that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi, and for all of us involved, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.